This video from Process Strategy Group provides an overview of an improvement approach that is applicable to any organization. It's easy to facilitate, it's easy to follow, and most importantly, it creates a better understanding of the current process and will identify changes that a process team can implement to improve the process, leading to improved results. If you're watching this video, you're probably trying to improve a process in your organization, or you see a need to improve processes. Here are some of the reasons someone would be looking at process improvement. Firstly, many organizations are in a position where there is little shared understanding of how they do things. You get that shared understanding by gathering a group of people who work in the process to identify how the process works. This is usually captured in a process map. Some organizations have customer service issues that need to be addressed. This usually requires looking at the process to determine what is causing the customer service issue and then modifying the process to address those issues. Other organizations have business issues that require changes to processes. Some organizations that have an understanding of some of their processes begin to see that other processes are causing problems in their process that needs to be addressed. These cross-process issues occur as you start to manage some of your processes. Then lastly, a smaller group of organizations have made the decision to proactively improve and manage their processes and put in place process measures to enable that to occur. Before you start an improvement session, you need to have a grasp of your level of process understanding. For example, do you know your activities that are part of your processes? Have you identified the value stream, which is how you provide services to your customers? Do you have a picture of your high-level processes? This is the 6 of 10 high-level processes that all organizations have, although they're unique for each organization. Have you categorized your processes using a classification framework that provides some context to your processes? And then lastly, are you managing your processes on a day-to-day basis, or are you doing one-off improvement projects? The answer to these questions will help you gauge how to approach your improvement project. For more insight into your level of understanding, you can take our PI Quick Assessment. Also see the video in YouTube on the Process Improvement Quick Assessment or the PSG website for more information. Another way to look at process improvement is from the context of an improvement continuum. Organizations tend to start at the department level, trying to fix a departmental problem. That's on the left-hand side of the graph above. Then they start looking at process improvement as projects. This could be to address a customer service or a business issue. As they realize that problems don't just occur in departments but across departments, organizations begin to focus on cross-functional issues through review and improvement of cross-functional processes. As you move across this continuum, the approaches get more structured. As you begin in departments or projects, a basic approach will suffice. Many organizations start with a straightforward approach, either something developed internally or an approach such as Workout, which GE used prior to its evolution to Six Sigma. As your process projects evolve, more structured approaches like Lean or Six Sigma become more appropriate. And as you start looking at cross-functional processes, more rigor is required to be successful. Following up on the continuum slide we just reviewed, which process improvement approach you use or should use is based on a number of factors. First, does the approach fit where you are on the continuum? When you start out, keep it simple. You want to make sure you are successful by providing value quickly. Other considerations: do you already have an internal approach? Unless there's a reason to use another approach, stay with what the organization knows. As you get more experience in process improvement, there will be issues that are best addressed with specific approaches. For example, Lean is best suited to certain issues such as elimination of waste. Six Sigma is useful when you have process data that can be evaluated for improvement. Another consideration is what approach, if any, have people been trained in? Again, stick with what you know, at least initially. And then lastly, keep it simple. Shorter is better than longer. People need to see results. You're trying to solve an issue. The people who will benefit from the improvement do not care what approach you use. They just want their issue resolved. This graphic shows the steps we move through when we are improving a process. A rough estimate is to spend more time on the new to-be process than the current as-is process. A 60-40 split is what we try to follow. Before you start, make sure the goal of the process review is clearly stated and everyone understands the objective, from the sponsor to all the team members. As you develop the as-is process, identify the boundaries of the process, where it starts and ends. Map the process at the level of detail to show how it works and what level is needed to identify issues that you're trying to resolve. Next, analyze the as-is. Where are the problems and disconnects? With the as-is analysis completed, identify the capabilities to be included in the new process. These could be part of the objective or otherwise identified by the sponsor. Then, develop a picture through a process map of the new process. Make sure all the issues and capabilities identified have been addressed. With the new process mapped, identify all the process changes and identify what is required to implement each change. Initially, this is a level which will allow the changes to be approved. You may later need more detail, such as a project plan, to actually manage the implementation. After these steps are completed, implement the changes to get to the new process. If you want a list, here are the 6 basic steps in the approach that we just covered. We recommend most organizations that are in the early stages of their process improvement efforts use this approach or something similar to it for a number of reasons. First, this approach produces results quickly. A group can move through the approach in 3 to 4 half days and be in a position to begin implementing the changes identified. Most of the changes can be implemented in 30 to 90 days. You need to show results quickly to gain support and show others the potential impact of process improvement. Next, this approach engages the people who do the work to identify the issues and problems, which they can readily identify, and come up with the solutions to those problems. With some guidance from the sponsor and input from managers, you can put the performers in a position to not only identify the solutions, but implement them. Next, this approach is straightforward, with a minimal learning curve. A trained facilitator can readily apply the approach to achieve the results. And then last, this approach can be applied to any type of process in any industry. As you get more mature in your ability to improve processes, you can add additional rigor and couple this approach with other techniques like Lean or Six Sigma. Most improvement approaches take too long to get results. Keep it simple and focusing on addressing the issues that is the focus of the effort. Achieve results to build momentum for your process improvement efforts. The improvement session will generate multiple outputs. First will be the process map of the current as-is process. You need this map to identify how the process currently works. More importantly is a process map of the new to-be process. As the changes are implemented, this will become the process map showing how the process now functions and be a key tool in managing the process going forward. The process improvement team will also identify the process changes required to move from the as-is process to the to-be process and capture those changes in a transition plan document. This captures not only the changes, but the impact of the changes, the first 3 to 4 steps required to implement the change, as well as who is responsible for overseeing the implementation of each change. Also, as part of identifying the new process, the group identified the process measures which will be tracked to manage the functioning of the process on an ongoing basis. As the new process is implemented, these measures are captured and tracked to identify how the process is performing and to make ongoing changes to the process as needed. We have conducted over 100 process improvement sessions using this approach. Some clients form process improvement teams who are responsible for the initial session as well as the ongoing improvement of the process. Other clients had business issues they needed to address through improvement of a specific process. These instances were treated as projects, and the team was disbanded when the project was completed. Shown here are 3 different examples of what clients achieved with this approach. The most common result was improvement to a process or a number of processes. In this example, the client focused on 7 processes which went through multiple improvement cycles. we're able to document $3.5 million in annual savings, as well as reduce cycle times and improve quality as shown from a reduction of errors. The impact was measured and the results communicated throughout the organization. In review of their value chain, a client decided to replace a vendor. They used the maps to identify how the new process should work and transition the new vendor to meet those capabilities. The end result was a seamless transition. The new process had higher quality, was more timely, and cost less. Another client used a process approach to insource capability that had been outsourced to a third party. Over a couple-year time frame, processes were developed, resources hired, and the capabilities brought back in-house. The end result was improved quality, much lower costs, and improved transparency and accountability for the in-source process. These are just 3 examples of the results you can achieve. So where should you focus your improvement efforts? In planning for your session, select the right process. Criteria we use fall into 4 categories. Processes that are customer facing will have the greatest impact on your interaction and value to your customer. Also, your identity and priority processes, which are the processes you are known for and where your value proposition is greatest, should be a focus. On the other hand, a process that is broken and is presenting current pain would be a likely candidate. A manager that needs help addressing a current business issue would fall into this category. There are also processes that need to be improved to meet the strategic direction of the organization. The strategy may call for capabilities which have to be developed, which will target those processes. Another key in your session planning is to have a committed sponsor for your improvement project. You need direction and commitment to move the effort forward. Also, make sure you build an effective process improvement team. Don't overlook providing the needed structure and training to your team. Other things to consider for your session. To get to the right level of input and involvement, make sure you have participants from all areas that are part of the process. Your focus is on those who do the work. These are the people who know how the process works or doesn't work. Be careful of someone who may dominate the discussion. You want all to be active participants. A process improvement project using this approach will take 3 to 4 half days. That's 4 to 6 hours a day. The sessions should all be in the morning or all in the afternoon and should start at the same time each day. The reason for this is there's follow-up and preparation between sessions. We've talked earlier about that there's 40% of the time should be spent on the as-is, and the majority, around 60%, on developing the new to-be process. You've now completed this brief overview. What should you do next? You can contact us at processstrategygroup.com for more information or with any questions you may have. If you want some high-level feedback, take our free Process Improvement Quick Assessment. This is quick and will give you insight that you may not have considered. You can also explore other PSG videos on YouTube. 2 in particular are the Process Improvement Quick Assessment and the Process-Based Management Quick Assessment. Good luck with your process improvement efforts. Let us know how Process Strategy Group can help you be successful.